Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand. Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of right?
I did my best, sir. We all did.
Welcome back to Let's Play Call of Juarez Gunslinger. I know it's been a while since the last update. I am very, very sorry. I said it would be 2 weeks, but it's been... oh gosh, probably almost 2 months at this point. I've just been very busy beaver. But hey, I'm back now, and we've got 2 great chapters in this video.
It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street. Story was Bob Dalton's girl was always writing about how he had no ambition. Oh, you're nobody next to Jesse James, she'd say. Finally, the bastard took his brothers to Coffeeville just to shut her up.
Right. It's always the woman's fault.
Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
We got us a hero.
Look at that solid metalwork. They just don't make banks like they used to.
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months, and now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. This man had no intention of letting the Daltons slip away. They met an adversary that day who had no fear and offered them no quarter. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait the son of a bitches out.
But this bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. He went in there alone to confront those criminals.
But before he did that, he decided to check out what skills he should upgrade. We've got quite a few options right now, some really good ones too. But what we're gonna go with is actually sawed-off shotguns akimbo.
One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
Bullshit, the couch should neglect fall damage.
We've got company.
I'll just take out my anger on these three knuckleheads.
Heroic men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free. Like Jim Bowie and Davy Crockett, who died defending the Alamo.
Is that Silas Greaves?
I wonder who this nameless bounty hunter was.
Better hide. Can't believe you keep missing.
I love that even with the wildly inaccurate sawed-off shotgun, you can still get a perfect headshot. Be careful not to miss this nuggie. The square? Oh, wait, square. Oh, jeez. That part actually always messes me up because I always want to hit the R2 button to open the door.
That's Silas Greaves.
Hey, spoiler alert!
Blam! Blam! He came away victorious, taking down those thieving Daltons. His name was Silas Greaves, and when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened. It was early evening, not high noon. I was late to the party and Coffeyville was already up in arms. The Daltons blew up a safe and were all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies. I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. Finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew them. But they still had friends in Coffeyville. Waste your bullet! Go ahead!
I just don't even want to deal with this guy. Would you just listen to that music? Isn't it great? The music in this game is really good.
Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. Problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Come on, we gotta
Did the
get out of
Daltons
here.
hole up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever. And since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. Well, bullets were flying every which way as all the old feuds in Kansas caught fire all at once. There was a hell of a lot of pissed off people in Coffeyville that day. But that's just the way life is sometimes. Shit happens. The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap to slow me down and allow at least 2 of them to escape. The 3rd brother stayed behind to plant me, just in case that trap of theirs didn't work.
I die to that trap a lot. So I got pretty lucky that time.
It was Emmett, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Greaves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. And I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
Especially with Silas Greaves' patented 4 shotgun barrels straight into the face.
Gonna send you to the bone!
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
And an amazingly durable face.
We'll get those suckers!
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this!
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track him to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
These explosions are extra dangerous with all this swamp gas around.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
The secrets are hidden far and wide in this level, so keep an eye out for them. And with that new secret, we get a new level. And with that new level, we get a new skill. And with this skill, we'll get more damage in concentration mode, which is pretty great by my standards.
Bury them in the swamp!
Put them where they stand!
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm. So I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends. The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause.
This gunfight can be pretty difficult because there's a lot of people coming at you from a lot of different angles. It can be really difficult.
Done with you!
Just make good use of your concentration, shoot those exploding barrels, and try to make it to that barn on the right where there's a shotgun that you can use. It's beautiful. At least it is once the textures load in. That very confident walking gentleman is a shotgunner, so be careful. Don't get shot by him because he does a lot of damage. I'd say that was a fair trade. Sometimes I just like to blow up barrels. Sue me.
Point being, I was under serious attack. And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
And because I'm bad at video games, neither were the enemies. What an arm.
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view. But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon... Steve? Steve?
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Indians? They were Indians?
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
I don't know about that. I'd rather be a bother than a brother.
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet, but I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what.
Bury him in the swamp!
What's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Silas is just starting to act like a bad stand-up comic. I bet this guy knows what I'm talking about. Look at him. We got anybody from Coffeeville in the audience? What's the deal with horse food? Is it food for horses or food for eating on horses?
Kill that goddamn bounty hunter! No, let him get away with that!
Ugh, what I'd give for some dynamite right about now. Ah, they're all grouped together. It would have been so perfect. Alas.
You can't get me! I'm done with you. I'm ending you.
Even though there's cover here, it's not particularly safe. There are enemies everywhere, so it can get pretty messy. You gotta be really careful.
Catch him in the crossfire!
Oh great, another shotgun asshole. Me without my party favors.
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them.
Something about this stinks. And it's not just the poo gas.
And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps? Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high. And those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
It's pretty hard to get a shot off at the Gatling gunner, but luckily he only takes one headshot or an explosion to kill. He's a lot less resilient than the last Gatling gunner we faced. Going up. Floor 2, Secrets and Holy Walls.
That's it! Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
It can be a little bit cumbersome to grab the right gun out of those boxes. Like I said, sawed-off shotguns are pretty inaccurate.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
I'm gonna make you pay.
Ooh, baby. I rarely ever get ricochet kills. They're pretty hard to pull off.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. But it turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're
What I'm-
talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think they're even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God,
But getting back to that steamboat, how'd you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. I was coughing up smoke and pretty damn pissed. I was done playing games with those boys. It was time to settle this once and for all.
Ooh, baby. Daddy like. This part is a ton of fun. You can just get a super high combo. Sometimes when playing through this section, I get multiple level ups in just one run. It's really great. Ah, I lost my combo. You gotta be quick sometimes. Yeah, the Gatling gun never really overheats or anything, so you can really just keep that trigger button held down for really as long as you want. It's pretty great. Pretty great.
Bob and Grad weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
Seamless edit.
They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers.
Partners, I'm much obliged to you for sticking with me for another episode of Call of Juarez Gunslinger. I'll see you on the trail again, and hopefully it won't be such a long ride as last time. Until we meet again. I could just add in a sound effect, but I sort of like the mouth sounds.